Wait, what? Hello. Sorry, I was like having to do something quick, and then I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get in here to stream. Oh, there we go. So hello. Some people remember the time because I know anybody outside the U.S. it's like an hour later than normal. I guess not normal as it was for the last 6 months because U.S. has to be stupid and follow some stupid daylight savings time thing. Although technically right now I think it's not in effect. We just ended it. It'll be back. Yeah, I changed all the clocks and replaced it for the stove. I don't know why that's like I guess the one everybody forgets. I don't even check to see if we actually got a change now. Okay, I think I got everything done on this side. Alright. So hello, stream time. Tuesday. Actually, the one nice thing about winter is usually there's a lot of light bleed from the window, but now there's none because it's already dark out, so it's beneficial. Last time we were working on more of this part, and I was going to continue doing that part. Probably do some of the lip syncing for Starlight there. Ooh, that is loud. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm at the same number, so I'm always balanced. But this seems really. No, that's normal. Okay.
Lord Helmet, what? You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good!
It's crazy toy. Alright, so we gotta do the other audio here. Once that's done, it's gonna be easier because I want to make sure I can get. Well, there's not really interacting between the two, but at least something figured out. Yeah, question, yeah. I was thinking about being careful when verifying integrity of files for SFM. Oh, yeah, there is one thing. Okay. So, yeah, if you're... That's essentially if you go in here and you say something's broken, so you do verify integrity of application files. It will re-download things that it sees are either missing or different than what is on the system. There's one very important file that is there. That is this one. Your gameinfo.txt. It also is the issue not just if you're verifying, but if there's an update, but not like there's been an update to SFM for the last couple of years. But that file contains all of your info for what games you have on your computer. So unless you've actually modified it yourself, it's not really worried. There's nothing you're gonna have to worry about with it. It's all going to be if you added stuff. So like for me, I have in here, I do stuff for PABs, so I have all their models in a separate folder, so it's easier for me to figure out which ones I have. I have a test folder for some stuff, Stanley Parable, Blade Symphony, Black Mesa. There's a bunch of separate games. Dota, when I brought that in, I made its own game, so it's essentially the same as the user mod folder in terms of structure, but it allows me to keep stuff sequestered. And so what you can do here is just add all the list of those games in, but if this file is ever updated, it will override and get rid of this, And the thing that sucks about that normally is having to figure out which ones to re-add again, and the order matters. Because if you go in the next time, go and put it in a different order, it might not load stuff properly because it's loading a model from one game, then another game, then another game. So there's a priority. So like some of these are commented out because I don't actually have these turned on to keep my model count down. But if I need them, I turn them on. But yeah, so this is the only file that I can think of that is a worry. So if you go to do verify, or if I do verification, or if I know that there's an update and I have it set to, I believe SFM is a manual, I have to actually give it approval. I will just go make a copy of this and post it, paste it somewhere, which is why I have a gameinfo.txt on my desktop. That is in case of something. So if I make a change to it, I try to copy it and put it in there. But I think the only thing I change out every now and then is PABs, because there's a lot of models in that. I change that. Else, I'll sometimes disable that to enable other stuff. Otherwise, yeah, that's about it. I don't think I modified anything else on here. Yeah, I haven't touched anything else. So I hope that answers your question. Well, if you're running out of file space, can we just freaking crash dumps? Because they're like useless and they take up like 33 megabytes each. There's one time I had 1.5 gigs in here. Freaking crash dumps. Yeah, I did end up getting the pack. I just haven't gotten everything set up yet. Alright, so we got here.
Alright, help me, what? You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on.
Okay, so I want to figure out what parts I need to cover for her. It's only games within your source film maker folder though. So like it's within the game folder here. Your user mod is considered a game in terms of that list. It's just nice because if you start getting a crap load of models, you can actually get to a point where your computer is basically going to like just slow to a halt with SM. Because like I had it at one point, and I had just that's why I have things disabled. Where if I were to go and do create animation set for a new model, before it hit the max of this, it would crash because I had too much just in one spot that I couldn't load anything. So I had to start disabling some games. So if I go to add any large groups of stuff, and that's like where there's like hundreds of potential models, I'll try to separate it into a separate folder. So like that's why PABs, because it's very specific for a project, I keep that separate, because then I can keep track of better. Like I can just disable that when I need more model space. So I would recommend trying to do that if you can. Like you could make an SFM ponies folder, and then with all the same folder structure or whatever folders they come in on, and all your models for all pony stuff would be separated from stuff. I wish I would have done that actually from the beginning. If I had the choice to go back, I would actually have it where I put nothing in my user mod, or as little as possible, because the user mod has a bunch of mixed mash of all this stuff from everywhere. But these, you can have more control over it, so if you have to reload the software, you can just grab everything from this folder and you manually put it there. So but yeah, any folder you put here. So that's why I made just test, and this was for I think it was just testing some Blacktrick stuff, and I was testing a changeling thing. So I wanted to be able to do permanent modifications to the model itself of some but without affecting the one that might be or in other files. So I made the changes, but then I had them exported to a whole separate game so that I didn't have to worry about them breaking. You could also just take the same model, put it in there. I think it works that way. I'm not sure. I haven't really tried that, but so yeah, and then you just add them in this. You just put game, and then you don't need this big space. I don't know what it's just game, and then later in the line just put the name of the game. And I think it loads from the top down, but it might be from the bottom to the top. I can't remember for sure. For the first game, Searchpad adds... Oh, okay. That might have been some stuff here. I'm trying to remember, because I went and looked it up once, but whatever. It's technical stuff. But yeah, if you do modify that file in any way, like to change anything, I recommend that any change you do, copy that file somewhere else that is not affected by any updates. Because I mean, the SFM could do an update, and if it did, I would lose track of all those files, like that list and what order it's in. And now when I do it, I just like update happens, I just drag the file into my user mod and done. So it's easy. Yeah, I guess it says game because it's they call it game because the actual file structure for source is just about like anything else. So which means it goes within the common folder here. It would go the games folder, then the game folder itself. But then usually there's a bunch of some other like mod stuff. So it's bin folder. But then there's another one that's actually named of the game itself to go into, which in this case is what all these are. And the game info.txt is just helping figure out where those are. If you actually like go into Half-Life 2, you go Half-Life 2, and again, here's essentially your games thing. So it's like episode 2, and then you got your media maps. They changed their structure to at some point. They made it a little harder to find stuff, but essentially the same thing. So it's just maintaining the same structure by having it called game. It's a game engine, so might as well. I kind of have the sniffles. It's so thick right now that it doesn't really. I'm not gonna sniffle. Don't worry. Like if I do, it's gonna be barely anything. Anyways, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Okay, for now I'm gonna change her mouth to nothing. There we go. Lower face. I thought I would oh, she has no bones. This way. No, maybe as soon as if you grab somebody's lower face like this, it's nice because it rotates right around the mouth because there's bones there with the Alt key. But Starlight doesn't have bones on her mouth, so it doesn't rotate around her mouth. Sad. Hello.
Lord Helmet!
Okay, so I need Lord Helmet. But that's fine, I keep music up. It's really quick. And it's going to be her moving, so it's probably not a big thing I even get this right. I'm not even caring about the tongue either. Oh yeah, I'm thinking about trying to find the one I've used in the other one, but this bottle doesn't have the same flexes. So let's go with this. Lord, so Lord. No, I remember the next word is H, so it's not D because you can't get to an H from there, so it's be Lord. Okay, kind of. The next letter affects how that looks, and if you do it based on the sound, you're gonna get a look more like you're gonna get the just flappy jaw that's super quick. but you gotta have that like good transition. So it can't be like E, it's gotta be mouse slightly forward. So yeah. Did I hit the button on something like that? Because it's... I must have hit something on that. Okay. What helmets from Spaceballs? Where the audio gets really annoying. Yeah, that breakpoint thing that I had caused some issues. Because it's a little bit off from what I want. I'll just do this. So like this needs to be quicker. I think I just need to have the mouth opened for a lot more. I'm just gonna skip a letter because I think I might be better if I come back to it. Would you recommend a more professional tool like Photoshop to alter coats on a model, or do something simpler tool like Paint? I don't know about Paint. GIMP is free. Do GIMP. GIMP is kind of like a watered down Photoshop, but it's free. So I'd recommend that more. I can't really help out with GIMP because I've never used it, but you can't fight free. So I would get that. It's Paint, because the most things you're going to be doing if you're talking about like doing coats, colors, and whatever, is hue alterations. But then you're probably also going to need to change cutie marks, which requires some type of layering or at least modifications of the colors around such. So it's a little bit messy. So yeah, I would say get GIMP personally. If you can't afford Photoshop. Photoshop's just really good. I don't think it's needed. I only reason I have Photoshop is because it came with the whole suite. So, and I got it mainly for After Effects, and it's what I knew the most or understood the most. Something's being weird here. Let's see if that fixes it. Yep, that's still doing it. I can't remember what causes that either. Because it's doing it where... Oh, was this doing it? No. I can't remember the cause of that. I remember having... Because that one's not doing it, and that one's not doing it. Well, I think I know one way. Okay, there we go. But I think I'm gonna have to redo that just to ensure, because it's like the value was beyond 0 or below 0, and it causes issues, big issues. But it should be fixed now. Yep, okay. So I just had to like select everything and kind of like wiggle it to reset it back to its normal 0. After Effects, you might think it'd be like, oh, I can just add particles and stuff in After Effects. It's not as easy as it sounds. Trying to simulate a three-dimensional space, adding it, masking out what layers are behind what, figuring out where that is, going frame by frame. It's not worth the effort. Just it's easier to probably learn how to do particles in SFM. So, will you get better result in there? Yes, but you're still going to have to, like, say you have bright particles, correctly light them onto the models, but then you're doing separate programs for it. I never even bothered with it. I've only added special effects once in After Effects, but the camera wasn't really moving, and it was just to add a layered on top of effect that was not really noticeable, and that was on Remembrance. You can do particles in SFM. It's not the best, but it works. In here, right at the end here, she blows up. Oh, that's too far to the end. When she goes kaboom, that like web particle that's coming out from around her, that kind of looks like the iris of an eye. That was in After Effects, so that wasn't actually done in SFM. But it created it. I felt I needed something else that was coming away from her. Without it, it just didn't. It felt plain. So, well, that and the way that these windows have that like Boeing look. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Alt is 10 seconds, right? I'm trying to remember the keys for that. The Boeing of the windows is all in post too. No keyframes. So, but yeah, that was, again, this is the only particle I've ever added. And I did try in SFM, it just didn't look right. But no, like if you want to make just floating particles in the air and stuff, that's all done in SFM. You can do that easy. If After Effects definitely comes in handy. Premiere is better for the actual video editing, but I export as image sequences, and since Premiere works directly off the raw files, it isn't the preferred option, because working on 4K image sequences where it's trying to directly pull from them every time, you can't run it in real time. It's too slow. So I have to use After Effects because it will preload it, and then you can actually view it. This one I'm going to need tongue. I don't think I can get the tongue up high enough. this needs to be. Oh, nope, actually that's wrong. I'm gonna go right to M and do the adjustment later. Pawns, yes. So I'm so much more used to doing lip syncing on these. I can do these a little quicker than the other ones. I'm skipping the mouth opens. Because I want to get the I want to get the facial parts done. It's a lot easier if, personally if I do it this way. Like here, I want to have the pucker led into a bit more. I want to have it probably pull back. Actually, a little bit of stretch. Like, so for here to here, I'll actually blend this a little bit. I can get rid of that because the sounds would have melded together, so it makes it look a little better. This, I'm gonna have it the jaw pulled back just a little bit. Same thing here. I'm gonna have more. Yes, it is a hardcore focusing. Focus.
You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time. You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time. Knock on my door.
I want to get more of an O face here.
Knock on my door. Knock next time.
Yeah, I like that one.
Knock on my door. Knock next time. My door. Knock next time. Next time. Next time. Knock next time.
I think I'm gonna get rid of the teeth a little bit here too.
Knock next time. Knock on my door. Knock next time. Yes. Knock on my door. Knock. Knock on my door.
So I'm trying to optimize here.
Knock on my door! Knock on my door! Knock on my...
I think this is what's bugging me right here, is that I think I need the mouth to be fully closed.
On my door! Knock on my door! Knock next time!
Yeah, that works better. Okay. Alright, back to Starlight. Too sad. Well, hello there, Mitch.
Lord help me! What? Lord help me! Lord help me! What? Lord help me! What? Lord help me!
Yeah, that looks much better. Just balance out the... Doesn't really need open there. In terms of listening to the same audio over and over, kind of, but I've done it so much now that it's not that bad. Like I brought up last time, I've listened to the same, like today at work, I listened to the same song on repeat for 2 hours. I just got into the habit where it helps me focus to hear the same thing over and over again. I don't know if it's because of this or whatnot. That's why lip syncing to me is the most mind-numbing thing to do, because you're listening to the same audio, but especially when you're trying to make it sound really, really good, or to look really, really good. But for this, it's just, that's why, like here, I didn't do back and forth, because I wanted to be able to push through one section then go back, so it's not the same little section over and over again. There is a tool for automatically doing it, but it's not very good. It has to analyze the audio and determine from it what should be what the mouth movements are. So it's based on an algorithm, and there's going to be like accents or songs or stuff that it isn't going to pick up, and even then it's not very good. The old one was originally based on the models with these flexes, but now there's way more out there. It's not going to be able to pinpoint some of the nuances that a lip sync is going to have. So even if you made it work really, really well, it's always going to need a human touch to make it look natural. So otherwise it's going to look like Skyrim lip syncing sometimes, where it just like, oh, maybe it doesn't really make sense to have that.
You're needed on the bridge.
But the nice thing about this is, like, here he says, "Sir," but then there's "Sir" again, and then "Sir" again. So, he says dolls. So usually if you get repeating words, you can kind of cheat. If I get V's and B's are always ones that anytime I get those or run across them, I'll just usually play ahead from a previous sound of it, just because sometimes it's hard to get those right. I wouldn't even use it as a bass. To me, it is almost more useful as a bass to just do this, or do this. It's really no different. So I used to try to use it as a bass, but it ended up being that you had to overwrite so much of it that it ended up being more of a hindrance. So I would recommend not doing it. And again, they're so old that, and every model has different flex names, so they're not always going to match up, right? I think it's better just do it yourself. But it's not too hard once you get to know what the flexes do. I think that's what takes up the most amount of time. So like being able to go here, like it says, so that'd be like So I'm going to do a little bit of close there. So I need to have pucker, a little bit of O, and then some teeth showing. Yeah. So it's like being able to know what those flexes do to where I can quickly jump to it. But even here, like, so this is just a couple frames long, but so I have, he says you're needed on the bridge, sir, in 1 second. So you're needed on the bridge, sir. 6 words, or is it 7 words? 6 words. And your is technically, or is could be considered almost 2. So I have technically 6 words I'm trying to mash into 1 second, which is on average 5 frames per word. Yeah. That's why I said that it's not always about making it the lip syncing work for the words. It's about what your mouth would do in trying to say. So you're needed, your mouth for going from your to need, you're already melding into the end. So. Okay. So like here, I've been trying to get in the habit of it because it does help, of skipping the O's and the A's, the ones that open the mouth a lot. So O or A, E's sometimes I'll still do. But if I skip it and I do the sound before and the sound afterwards, then I can play around in the middle how I want it to be open, because it's sometimes hard to figure. I think that's easier to do it like that. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to start with the yurt, and then so it's... I'm going to skip right to the end sound, because that's going to be yurt, and they're going to be very similar. So I'm going to do N, so it's going to be very similar to what that last one was. Your... kind of. I'm actually going to go a little bit of angry. Alright, now I'm going to play with the open, so... And that's going to be your... So here. So here I'm actually going to have to mash this closer together. I can do that, yeah. So here, the sound, that's already mouth open, which is right here. So let's see if this works. I'm gonna have a little bit in the beginning here that it goes open more. So I'm not going to keep it all together, open more. So E's at least you do. So knee, your knee. But this is going to be a weird E. You're needed. There's not going to be an open mouth, so it's just going to be essentially an E with a double, this like a pause in the middle. Okay, I'm just going to play head this spot. That's what I'm going to do because it's the beginning of the word. Oh, on. I'm needed on. It's not going to be pulled back. It's actually going to be a little bit further forward. This looks a little too happy. There we go. Alright, I'm going to skip the, because that's going to be a small nuance to make work. On because it's going to be on the, it's like on the, so I'm just going to skip to B. And I already did a B, which is basically the same as an M. A little bit of an open here.
You need it on the bridge. On the bridge, sir.
Bible horse. So go from the beginning to the end of the word and then work in the middle. It depends on the word. It's just from experience that I've just learned there's certain words that just work better if you skip the sound and come back to it. Because in the middle it's just the opening. As long as it opens, usually it's either a straight open or there's going to be usually like this where you have like a pucker forward and then it spreads. So like the Y, but there's other ones where it just works better. So I just look at it and I go, like, do I know how this mouth opening is going to connect with the next sound? No. Well, then I'm going to do the sound, the ending sound first, and then go back to the opening. So, but also if you get stuck on some part of it where you feel like that one sound you're working on isn't sounding right, just keep going. Ignore it, move on. Sometimes once you put it in context with something, it's a lot, or with other sounds around it, it's easier to get it to meld right. Like sometimes if you just go off of what the sound is that you hear, you think you know it. Like, you're like, this is exactly what that sound would be like. But then you put it all together, it's just super flappy mouth. So you can start merging the sounds together and to figure out what actually works. Like here, I probably actually be like so. This I've already passed it, but I know now if I actually go and put the pucker up here, and then actually pull it back here. So it looks a little better there. So it's the refinement thing. So don't get stuck on one thing and think you can't move past that until you get it right. No, just screw it. Move on. Go back to it. The only thing I gotta worry about is that she's further back here. So I need to make sure that some of the mouthing is at least a little more extreme because it's gonna be harder to see. Might not matter, but yeah. Oh, actually, I forgot the other question there. Isn't it more like reviewing parts of his arc? Yeah, I could say that. It's like you're not making a cake one slice at a time. You're starting with the raw ingredients. So you're starting with doing a little of everything at once. So you're going back and doing a little more of everything. You do a little more of everything, and until you have a cake. But you don't start by refining the small chunks of it. It's multiple passes usually. And sometimes even when I started, I did more in refinement than Twilight stuff because one day it looks fine, then the next day, like after my brain isn't staring at it for what I did, you just see things that you didn't see before. That's why, like in this video, I said if I finish a shot, I will not count it done until I've looked at it another day in detail, because I just will find stuff that I'm like, why did I think that? So yeah. So like here, I get this one I normally would go straight through, but I'm just gonna skip and do this first sounds again. So I have the kind of look, sir. So there'd be sir. It's not gonna be a pullback. It's gonna be. I'm gonna go with a relaxed mouth, and I wanna. If it's the very last sound of like that they're talking, I'll try to drift it out because sometimes you're gonna have to blend in with some other mouthing, and so I want to give myself space for it. So that's sir. That's one thing I don't like about these flexes compared to the others is there's no real good way to get the bottom teeth to show but not the top. It's almost always you have one both or just the top. Like I can go up to the top there, but I want to have less I want to have less of the top teeth, more of the bottom. It'd be sir. Sir. So I'm just going to mix in. Open here. There's going to be very little.
You're needed on the bridge, sir.
So like here, there's a really big jump right here, so I'm just going to blend these to see how that looks.
You're needed on the bridge, sir.
I'm going to have it open just a little bit more.
You're needed on the bridge, sir. You're needed on the bridge, sir. You're needed on the bridge.
I think this needs to be open more too.
On the bridge, sir. You're needed on the bridge, sir.
She also looks too happy.
You're needed on the bridge, sir.
If anything, can I mix some frown in? This could be bad or not.
You're needed on the bridge, sir.
No, I don't like that. I think that the facial expressions are going to be what does this.
On the bridge, sir.
Yeah, that helps.
You're needed on the bridge, sir. Hard helmet, black. You're needed on the bridge, sir.
Okay, this is the other thing I see wrong with this.
Bridge, sir. Bridge, sir. Bridge, sir. You're needed on the bridge, sir.
There we go, that looks better. Yeah, it's the similar concept in terms of looking at it later is that if you're looking at something and you can't figure out what to do, like you're at a brain fart, it's normally that it's like having that tunnel vision where you're just going and you're just getting a lot done. It can be super useful, but usually it gets your brain stuck in like one line of thinking that where if you hit a roadblock, you literally cannot think your way out of it because your brain is so focused on what that little train it took. So it's normally that if you have a brain fart, don't get frustrated, don't fight it, don't force yourself to just walk away, go get something to eat, go get a drink of water, go for a walk, look at it the next day, get your mind out of that tunnel and put it somewhere else, and you'll be amazed how fast you can figure out the solution to it once you come back to it. I've had it plenty of times where I've stared at something for an hour, couldn't figure it out, and then I came back to it like the next day, and like that. It took like within seconds I was able to look at it and go, why did I not think of that? So just don't frustrate yourself. Take a break if you need to, because it's when it comes to things that are being creative, you can't just force it. You can't turn yourself into a machine to do the creative stuff. So
you're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time. Yes.
Okay, so sir, I can probably steal, but for now I'm going to do yes. So that's and this is going to be a So look at that. That was easy. That usually is pretty good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No. No, sir.
Oh yeah, but now I gotta do the whole long spiel afterwards.
No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good.
With dolls. That's not the way it said it. No, teeth, there is grin, which is the equivalent of a teeth, but it depends on the sound. Like, so that is teeth, but you might have to do it like grin along with open to get the teeth to show. That's sometimes what you need for certain sounds. So like, if you're doing O or ah, you probably want to have just the mouth showing. But if you're doing like gray, or let's do great, you have the teeth going from great. You have that teeth that are involved with that. So then I probably would actually mix some teeth in with it. And then mouth angry tends to be more useful for like this the sounds that use the teeth that pull back on your on the sides of your mouth. So like I'm trying to think of words that would say do that, like or like again. So like here you'd be saying again. It's the teeth are showing, but it's pulling back, which angry actually does a really good job with. You put some angry, some of that in, and it gives that it's not just that the lips are actually pulling back, that the feeling that they're being pulled back. Because otherwise, I could just decrease the pucker and add some grin, but it doesn't look like they're pulling their mouth back. It looks like a relaxed state. Well, this puts them in more of that like pulled back state. So, but the other models have on these ones have actual bones for some of the lips too, which is nice. A lot of the lip syncing works the same. You don't need to use them, but there are some sounds, or for lip syncing it's not as needed, but there are times where just you could really clean it up and refine it by playing with it. I just think that's way more work than I want to put into something. It's probably not very similar, but Pony's coming along. How are you doing? So here I want to actually have it where the O starts earlier and the opening of the mouth is later. Actually, I might take that off. No, I want it to be quicker. I'm not worried about going too much into detail with it. Yeah, the bones have come in handy for that. But there's also, like, just in general, it's not just Twilight. These are all the Juice Day flexes. It's just more in general. You have all the bones, but you have just other ones you can have access to, like that one. And like in general, that's a little more extreme look that I want to go with some things. But like I had used shout on this one because it definitely helps for certain sounds, but it just has more flexes that you can use in small little nuance ways to create a better look of stuff. The more flexes there are that do even just slightly different things than another one, I mean, you can mix and match to create anything you want. I mean, I can grab all of these and all put a little bit of something in. Well, get some weird results, but you can increase all of them by little bits, and to create a mix effect. We'll bring it. So. I'll make sure I didn't break that at all.
Next time! Yes, sir! Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good! Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with...
Okay, I'm done with lip syncing for now, so we're gonna like start doing some of the other stuff here. I think I want to have the camera actually zoomed in for a sec here. I'd actually have to make that quicker. Because they're right now pretty far away from each other. I can put them closer, actually. Go to that angry liar pony. Oh yeah, I probably should at least have that part go all the way past this. Yes, this is where the cool kids are. Did you mute your audio? I hope they hear me, otherwise they're really good at lip sync or reading lips. No, there's nothing for like bruises or like little bumps like that. No, you'd have to actually modify the model yourself to do something like that. But also depends on the area whether or not you even could, because like if we look up Twilight here, Twilight Sporkle. Here's your mesh. You'll see that the mouth has a crap load of polygons on it, because with the amount of stretching and the detail that it has to have that, or you'll actually start seeing deformation. But if you start going to other parts of the body, so like say you wanted to create a bruise on like the back hip or something, you can see that there's a lot less polygons here. So if you were to do and try to raise one area, it's going to look boxy because you're going to be raising just these individual vertices, and it's not going to look right. But if you have, you would have to go through and potentially add more detail to that area of the model to even make that work. Some of the other parts you're still okay with, like see, that's the chest, doesn't really have that many. The neck has a bit more, but that's the inside of the mouth there. But yeah, it's the models are made to minimize to the least amount of polygons possible. So anywhere it's bending, there's a few more, so that's why you can see, because these because the legs can stretch a lot from apart from each other. There's a lot more polygons put in the middle of that, so that it doesn't look like one polygon stretching the whole distance. So But you can actually see the polygons on the models here. So like there, you can see one of them coming up there. It's just that the lighting engine is set in such a, or set to work in such a way that you don't notice those things. I mean, you start seeing the stretching here. No, the SFM can't alter the model itself. You have to do it in something post. Okay, I probably should actually build like a room for this. Do I want to make them like they're on a ship similar to the movie, or do I want to try to make something similar to a Crystal Castle? There's no models that exist for that, so that would be a lot of extra work. No, I don't worry about asking questions. It's actually the whole point. The whole point of streams is to help people and answer questions. So I just work on my own stuff on the in between because there's not always questions. So no, don't feel bothered by that at all. But yeah, I'm trying to think, because if I did like a ship, I'd probably want to modify them in some way. Well, and also at the beginning it says Lord Helmet, so I probably should give her a helmet of some sort. I wonder if there's like just a hat I can give her. Where do I have her helmet? There we go. Big Chaos Knight. I think actually one of the simple ones towards the beginning might work the best. Because I think it'll actually fit on her. Yeah, these are actually XCOM based. Still, I think it might be a bit excessive. Oh, that actually might work. No, that won't work because I need to make sure that I can show her hair. If I take away her hair, it loses identity. Yeah, these are just going to cover too much of her head. This might work. It's like here. I can't actually get her hair under there. There's no bones for it. Well, there's a way. It's just messy. Okay, that's actually a very common question. So, it is at the beginning of a frame. I don't think I have any here that actually. These might have something. Yeah, so like this one. So flexes. So this is what she's supposed to look like, but if I go out of the frame and come back in, she's a little different. The flexes take a second to kick in. I wish there's... Actually, you know what? I'll just grab one of these. Just load on a different model. Do Lyra again. Hello, Lyra. I want to make sure some people might not understand what that means. But it's probably one of the most common questions I see. We're gonna give her some extreme facial stuff. So we're gonna be like curve. No, we'll do, actually curves a pretty good one for that. And then we'll do some teeth because those are also obvious. So let's see if that works. Yeah. So you can see like here, when you exit a shot and come back and it doesn't look quite right, but if you like modify or move something, it'll stretch it back. Flexes take a couple frames, or I guess whatever you want to consider like a cycles within the engine to fully process. So if you have, that was weird. So if you have a render that is going super quick, it'll actually take more frames than if it's taking a long time to render out a single shot, because then the engine has more time in that. But it sucks though when you render, because you have these errors, and I will show you how I fix it, and it's annoying. So my Astraeo folders that I have apparently already thrown to my storage drive, I had that almost every shot, or every other shot just about, had it where the flexes were broken at the beginning. And this one. Okay, so for instance, I have a backup folder here. There it is. So what it is so this is the finals. Let's run this previous. Okay, so like right here, 144. At the beginning of the shot when I rendered it, her eyes were partially open. And I'll show you what it looked like because I have it here. It is right here. This is what it looked like when it originally rendered on that shot. And then you can see that it takes its time to correct itself. How I fixed it was I go through and I re-render those portions. So I'll like grab the time selection here, and I try to math it so it's always the same, and I will bring down these to only the range that I need. But I will just go in like, and I usually do it where I give myself, I think I was doing 6 frames before and after here. Yeah, though this one's 5. Maybe I was doing 10 on this one. Yeah, I might have been doing 10 on this one. But as long as you're consistent. Oh yeah, and then here's the 6. So just go in, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I would render from this point and then to 6 seconds after the original point. So sometimes I would mark it. So it'd be like 1, and then 1, 2. So there. And it would render this whole area here. And in a separate folder. Normally I call it like fix or something. And it would render just in one folder all of them. Just bam, 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 bam. Then I would go through here later and I would go and grab out of that fixed folder, and I would say, okay, here's my my 12 frames. I'll figure out which one it was that matches up with the beginning here. So I'd go 144, 144, okay. And I would copy over that frame to the end of that group to the other folder, but I hate deleting things, so I was throwing the other ones that I was overwriting into the backup folder, so that in case there was an error, I still had frames or something. But that's really the only way I know how to fix it, is just to render it by giving it an artificial buffer at the beginning of the shot, and that's about it. Then you're just going through and replacing the frames. That's why image sequences are good. And don't think this is like a huge process. Like it was, I did all the fixed renders for this video. Like I was just putzing on my phone, playing a game on my phone for a while, and I would just start a render, do some putzing around with some stuff, and then when that finished, go and start another one and another one and another one. Then I would just go through and fix it later. It took me like half an evening to get it all done, but these had a lot of shots that were doing it. But the higher the render quality you have, the less time you'll need. Like here, these took 1, 2, 3, 4 frames to be good. But if you were going super fast renders, it could be like 10 or 11. But that's pretty fast renders you'd have to have. So yeah, that's the only way I know how to fix it. I wish I had better news for you. If you're rendering direct to MP4, I have no idea. Can't help you. Flexes just need time for the engine to process it. And with how extreme the pony models can get some of their looks, there's nothing that can be done on it. That I know of. If there's a solution out there, I don't know about it. I don't know why he's running groups. Yeah, I really wish I had a better solution. I've looked it up. I've tried different ideas. No. It's the best I got for you. But the reason that or how I do the time thing like I did there was because as long as you're naming the second render the exact same as the other renders, all the frame count is the same and everything, so it's just a drag and drop. But if you have it named differently, you'll have to actually go through each of these and rename each of them to the correct numbers and everything. I originally had it where to fix some of them, the ones that I knew that were going to be wrong, I would copy paste that shot to the end of the video and just extend it, so then I could just sit in one render, like go to bed, go to work the next day, and all the renders would be done. But then you have to go through and rename all the files, and you're also rendering probably way more than you need to. I didn't like that solution. This one, considering you can just putz around and do other stuff at the same time, is, I think, the preferred option. Anyways. Okay, I think I might want to not use that helmet. If only because it made it look like it was like a handicap helmet. Like she was like playing with her dolls, and I don't want that. I really don't want to put anything on her head. I think I might just leave it with a quote and not bother. But then I need a door still to walk in. Starsorrow has a helmet? He has a hat. Okay. Okay, there you go. Right as I said it, it popped up. Maybe. The only thing that would bug me with that is that there's going to be very drastic, quick movements with her. And I can see that being too much. Yeah. So the problem with this hat is that I'm pretty sure it's not made to flop or like to wave back and forth with physics, so it look like just a stationary item on the top of his head, and I don't want that. Also, what the hell would pony like that wear this for? Like, what the why has he got bells everywhere? Stupid. Okay, so what kind of room do I want to put him in? I thought about using the library, because there is a library model, but there's no door on the library, so that kind of creates a problem with that. Because the sound is definitely metal. Again, I need a model for it. Or some kind of models for it. So, like, could I use the castle? Yes. Or her castle, but it's not. Could I use? And I'd rather scene build it because then I can render it all in one go. I hate splitting it up. or even having to split the file or use the separate map render technique. That's annoying. Trying to think of a theme to go with. I could just build a standard room and not care. Yeah, I think I might just do that. How do you do blinking? Because I've noticed you have style for blinking and changing eye expressions. Oh yeah, Ace. In terms of like how I do the eye opening thing, do I have? It's more of I try to keep things moving, so I'm trying to find ways to standardize it. I guess because if you can standardize something, it makes it easier to remember and to do. Did I clean any of these up? Because I have a really good example. I just can't show you. Well, I can show you because you're in PAPS, but for how I do things, but that's in here. I don't have as much of it. And most of the stuff I've been learning on how to do it, I don't have any finished product for. But normally it's I have it done where it's. I'm just wondering if I should just start working on something with Twilight here, and that would give allow me to show it. I think that's gonna be the best way to do it because it's pretty. I do it pretty much the same, but it's just wordy. So like here, let's just start melding Twilight here. Alright, so I want to start Twilight. Oh yeah, I was gonna use magic, so yeah, okay. I can have... I was originally like, well, don't I need to put her legs up or something? I just want to have her down a little lower here. I did want to do a tutorial on the eye thing because it's something I've been learning a lot doing the PAP stuff that I think I can do a video on. Yeah, in terms of render, yeah, do render out its image sequences if at all possible. You're going to keep the quality as optimal as possible all the way to the end. Okay, that should work. Lord, hell. Alright, so we're going to... I'm skipping the eyes right now. I'm just doing the body. But I'll get to the eyes in a minute here then. That's what I'm looking for. I need the timing for the audio, so that's why I gotta keep going. Okay. There we go. Alright, now I can kind of do a little bit of the eye stuff. It's like kind of a dolphin, maybe? I don't know. Alright, so for the eyes, I didn't touch the eyes because I wanted to be separate. So her eye, well, and her eyes are changing position. There's no change to actual motion here. And I always try to keep the eyes untouched if they're moving when there's a blink like this. So I'm going to first, because if there's a drastic motion where the attention is drawn from one location to another, it doesn't have to be because of a surprise or anything, just any large change from one look to another. Don't shift the eyes. You want to blink to have them change between them. It's way better looking. Otherwise you look like you have shifty eyes. So I'm just going to grab the eyes here. I think there's nothing else on them. No. So and I'm just going to go... Normally my habit is, if I'm going to do a blink, hit 0 first because I want to make sure I have nothing on the eyes. And then I'm going to have them close. Is it going to be better to have the squint? No. Not here. Okay, so first I want to do some of the emotions here. So I'm going to make sure that she's going to be fairly relaxed right here. I'm going to load up the script for so I can do her eyes here. So the eyes change here. Skin is fine. So the skin is going to be at the mid there. Okay. Back to eyes. All right. So she blinks. Now, what I normally want to do is I want to have it so that whenever the eyes, and I'm not talking about the actual pupils themselves, but the actual like eyelids, when they hit or when they first open, that they kind of open a little bit more than normal and then kind of relax back to a normal position. Because it's kind of like with motion, or like with her head, how it's going backwards, but it doesn't just go and stop. It actually goes a little bit and then comes back. Because she's imperfect, she's a fleshy being. She shouldn't be going like a robot to A to B and stopping immediately. There should be imperfection in the motion. So just like with the eyes, when the eyes go super large, I want to have the eyelids expand a little bit afterwards. So normally I just grab just right around there, just like the normal bit. I'll play with it from there. And like here, I want to have her still maintain a wide-eyed look. But otherwise, if it's just normal conversation, I'll sometimes add a little bit of eye close. So like this. So that would be like the normal position. Because then when I want to have the bounce, I'll just remove the eye close. Because otherwise you're adding wide, which makes them kind of go creepy wide. And it may not always be what you want for normal conversation. It's kind of the same reason that I have on the lower face here. The base has a little bit of pucker. Because so I'm not stretching the mouth to make it go backwards. I'm putting it to its normal position to go backwards. And when I need to have it look like it's stretching, because otherwise you're just getting like weird stretchy looks like this, and that's not a natural look. So I always put a little bit of pucker and neutral, so that the lips are straight back. That's why it's like this. It just makes it easier. I can add emotions afterwards. But for the eyes, it's a similar concept anyway. So, but here, because I want to have her maintain a wide-eyed look, she's surprised, I will go with wide. And here, I'm actually going to pull this out a little bit because I want to have it go with her body. So her body hits its peak right there and then comes back down. Then I'll usually still go a third level of that. And so like here, I will put a little bit of the eye close. But this one I'm dragging way out. Put a little closer. But normally that's going to blend with other stuff. Like here it doesn't. It's a little bit interesting because I haven't actually added her next motion in. But it makes the eyes feel more alive. On top of that, there's going to be what I'm going to do with the eyes here. So like, I'm going to find where the eyes are opening right here. So this is the exact same thing. I'm going to go and round it off to one more set, or so one more pass. And I'm actually going to make the pupils go down a little bit, like they're following the eyes going down. So I'm actually going to do it right here because it's a little easier for me to see. It makes it's a much more natural look. But then just because, and the same, like, because I had the eyes go wider, I want to have the eyeball itself go up with it. So I'm going to grab about the same. I don't remember the exact range. It's fine, though. I'm just going to go up a little bit. Not enough. It may look like you're looking off target, but it's such a short period of time that normally it just feels natural when you actually put it together. So you can see that the eyes are actually going up a little bit. And if you want to, you can actually mistime it so that the eyes are going at a different time than the eyelids. But like here, it's not. It looks a little weird, so I'm not going to bother. But it's about just trying to add a little bit of I don't know what you want to call it. Those nuances, those tiny little details that just make things feel mushy. I guess that's the best word for it. I'm actually, before I go any further, I'm going to have to melt the next part of her body here. But that's, in essence, that's about what I do. Oh, everything I'll do with the eyes is like that. I will sometimes follow it up, though, where after they do the eyes do the little bounce upwards, I'll actually have the bottom eyes raise up a little bit further out, so that it feels like the top one's coming down, but the bottom one's coming up a little bit. And I don't know, I just was putzing with it one day, and that actually ended up being what it looked the best. And so I've been doing that a lot, and I like the result. I might be able to show a little bit of it here. Just gotta make sure I unselect that. What is animated on? Oh, that's what's showing animated. Okay. Nah, that's better. Okay. I was wondering what was like moving in there. It was the I had her jiggle mode still. Now here, this timing's probably not going to be right. Just because I probably needed to go a little bit afterwards. I'm actually going to do the toys afterwards. Okay, the problem with this is their legs are clipping through the table. I don't want that. Ooh. I didn't realize that her hoofs were that broken in general. Probably should fix that. Again, I'm going to listen to the audio because I need timing. Okay, that should work. Now I need to get the arms to raise around the table. And actually, this is probably going to require her actually leaning backwards. Okay, so I will need to do it like that. Okay, close. Because I need to get them in, over the table, then I need to get them higher than the toys, then I need to get them back down again. Okay, so do it like this. This is going to be left shoulder down again, this time up, and these will be up. A little too high. Oh, but I kind of have to. There's clipping here, but I don't even know if you really can tell. Not really. I'll just go with it. Okay, now I can get it because I have timing. So I said one arm because I didn't want to waste my time trying to figure out, or do it on one and the other and then redo it, and then do it one and the other and then redo it again. Probably add some more motion to the body too, to have her pull out more. Okay, so those are done. Just gonna play with the timing a little bit. Okay, got to be careful with that. Okay, so I need to like I'm actually coming in from the side a bit more, because this is going to be me pulling the toys into a smaller area. I gotta knock them in. Okay, but now I need to have her bounce into that position a little bit. Or not bounce, but like, I don't know, just feel more flexible. Keep that for now. I don't care if it's not right or not. I'm just gonna rush it. Alright. So like here, I want to have her head do a little bit of a turn. Where's your head? That's missing. Oh, it's way up there. Wow, okay. Okay, now I get back to the ice. Okay. Alright, so again, she blinks because she's surprised, but then when her eyes change like this, I need to also have her blink again. This time I'm going to actually do a squint. And I think, yeah, there's a little bit of another eye close on this one, so the 0, oh, no. Hold on, I'm going to select just that. Alright, 0 to make sure I'm cleared, then hit the squint. Okay. Okay, and then I'll just move the eyes to here. Actually, I didn't even have these set to... I do these cheaply. I normally, if any... And I actually should... I'm actually going to redo it that way. Do not use left, right, up, and down for determining position. That should be what view target is for. Because up, down, left, right work good well for refining, and if you have other modifications done to it, it will get very messy very quick. Yeah, I should probably get those toys figured out here, at least even to some rough degree. So they would have... And okay, so they get hit right about here. So I'm going to go in just a little bit more, and then I'm going quicker. Yeah. And I'll add some other refinement to their motion a bit later, but... What body pillow? Oh, the Rainbow Dash one? Yes, it is a Dashy pillow. Yeah, I have two. People keep giving me Dockies, so yes, I have a Rainbow Dash and a Epona. Yeah, this one's a Rainbow Dash one. And then the other one's too far away to care. The only problem is that it's almost too much stuff on my bed now. So I think I want to have her lean more to the right here. I think I still have her. Yeah, I still do. Okay. So I have the blink of the eyes done. So I'm gonna figure out where the are, and I'm just gonna show how I'm usually pretty systematic in this. So I need to make the pupils go down with it. This one's because there's a change left and right. I'm actually gonna split it. It gets a little interesting otherwise. So this one I'm gonna go straight down. Okay. This one I'm going to have go down, but I'm also going to have it, so I want the all the pupils to be visible, so I'm going to move it more to the right there. So right about there. A little more down. And I do that so that you can, there's some kind of a time there that shows where the pupils were, and that the fact that they were moving from looking forward to the side, but only within that short period of time. Usually if I have somebody shifting from one look to the other, I'll have the first one go essentially straight down with the eyelids, but I'll have the other one kind of curve up with it. You don't want to have it curve into both turns always, because sometimes you might have it where the eyes actually cross into what the other one is now coming from, and it looks really awkward. So, alright, so then the same thing here. We're going to go upper face, and we're going to grab a little bit of wide. So the peak of her motion is right there, so we'll just grab right there, make it a little wider. And the same thing, then we'll do the eyes to go up a little bit. This one might actually delay a little. Okay, now go back to the eyes on this side. So and like I said, I'm gonna have I'm gonna take partner here, and I'm gonna have it where this lower eye part comes up a little bit. Probably actually do it a little earlier than normal. Actually, here it might not work. If anything, I might actually just give it a twitch. I think this is too fast to make it work otherwise. I think it might be too fast for that too. First, I want to see. See if it's turning these at all. Actually, I think that might work. The eyes have the bone that you can manipulate, but it gets messy if you change everything for it. We can definitely help it boost some emotions. Definitely gotta move those eyes just staring at the screen. Yeah, Mike, who would do that? No, I have plenty of... Really, in terms of, like, anything pony, I'm good. I've gotten... My room is packed full of stuff. I mean, just even sitting right next to me, I have like 2 little rainbow dashes just sitting here on my desk. And it's... I have pony stuff everywhere. I'm good. I don't need any more. But I like having knickknacks. My room has 0 echo. I love that. No, Tempest wouldn't really work for it because I'm going to be levitating them at the beginning, and she technically can't levitate. For this bit, I might have to raise it up because it looks like she's looking at the camera. Okay. That feels better. I just don't want to... You don't want them looking at the camera because that breaks the fourth wall. It gets weird. I haven't picked up little things at the cons. Like, I picked up... Well, I don't know if I consider that this Rainbow Dash very little, but... picked up her. Oh no, I messed up the other Rainbow Dash. I gotta. Oh, there. I need to. She's got to lay on Big Mommy Rainbow Dash. Okay. Yeah, I just pick up little things. I don't pick up like pictures and giant things anymore. But there's still lots of really cool art that I wish I could grab, but I have lots of stuff already taken up. But like I even went and I have non-pony stuff too. So like I have dog meat there. I also have some Mass Effect ones. So there's Grunt, Tolly, and Legion, and there's a Normandy back there. So I don't just have one. Well, right now I'm not doing full animating. I'm doing the main. I'm getting all the keyframes out of the way, and then I'll be going back and adding some extra stuff to it too. But really, I don't think I'm going to care enough to put like stupid amounts of detail into it. It's a stupid video, so.
Bridge, sir. Oh, helmet, what? You need it on the bridge. The bridge, sir.
So like here, these two motions, I'm probably just gonna pass on because I don't really need to worry about them. Like here's one though. Well, no, there's some pony stuff that's out in the main room, but that's been there since we moved in, like, even when I had space. Yeah, I'm gonna. Too much. Sometimes by just trying to undo motion, I add imperfections that make it look more realistic. So like here. So here's the where. Oh no, that was what. Oh, this way. I had it right. So I needed to go a little bit more to the left. So it goes a little bit down still. Okay. The point of that was I wanted to grab the leg, grab chest 2, and head and neck, and just blend all the way to the end here.
Knock on my door! Knock on...
Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have the eyes open. I need the audio still because I need to make sure. Actually, I don't need drawings right now. Need to make sure I get the eyes opening up with the audio. Nothing there.
Knock on my... Knock on my door! Knock on my door! Knock on... Knock on my door!
Ooh. Ooh. When Twilight found new book.
Knock on my door! Knock on my door! Knock on my door! Knock on my door! Knock next time! Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir! Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir! Did you see anything? No, sir! I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good!
What that's for?
Did you see anything? No, sir! Yes, sir! Did you see anything?
I'm not there yet.
Knock next time! Knock on my door! Knock next time!
I've been to a lot of conventions. I built up stock.
You're needed on the bridge, sir! Knock on my door! Knock on my door!
I'm being stubborn. Where is it? There it is.
Door! Knock on my door! My door! On my door! Knock! Door! Knock! On my door! Knock on my door! Knock next time! My door! Knock! My door! Knock on my door! On my door! Knock on my door! Knock! Sir. Knock on my door! Knock! Knock on my door! Knock next time! Or knock! On my door! Knock next time! Knock on my door! Knock next time! Knock on my door! Knock on my door! My door! Knock on my door! Knock! Door! Knock! Door! Knock it! Door! Knock it! Knock! Knock on my door! Knock next time! Door! Knock! My door! Knock next time! Next time! Knock on my door! Knock next time!
Just trying to make it. I want to have more of the deadpan stare forward, so I'm kind of trying to smooth out some of the little bits.
Knock on my door! Knock on my door!
That's probably what we need audio for. So I have to be a little more careful of, because it's going up to. So I don't want to put it down too much, otherwise I'm going to get this. Or get the white eye. I don't want that. So right at the end here, I need to make sure it's not quite that high. But this one I could probably actually increase it more. And again, need to make sure that it's even space. So I'm gonna go a little to the right. I never actually did it with these either, did I? Oh wait, no, I did. I just didn't do like the eye cleanup. Actually, I might be able to, because there's talking, go over a little bit of the other stuff with that. So like I can start doing a little bit of the, I might not have the time for it, but I'll try. The emphasis. So like when there's certain words that are being spoken, to have the eyes after like a blank or after anything, have them slowly close just a little bit, so that, and then whenever there's an emphasis on a word, and usually you can kind of tell what works for emphasis, to have them just do a quick opening and then go back to like slowly shutting or whatever, so that it just it's like an eyes going wide when you you might even do it, you don't even know it, to try to put more emphasis on their emotions and with what's being said. So but here this is the emphasis right here. I'm not able to actually get to it because of the other stuff, but I do want to have her. I'm gonna have it go like this, but I'm actually gonna put a little bit of wide instead, and a little bit of no, not sad. No, I'm not angry. I don't know what it would actually be. I might just keep it with. No, I'm just gonna do raise. And here I have to animate the rest of it, but I would drop the eyes a lot here. Sounds like he calms down for like 1 second at the end of door, like it's a slow dip, and have it then go to a stronger emphasis afterwards.
Knock on my door! Knock on my door!
I'm gonna actually probably have the
Door! Knock on my door! Knock on my door! Knock next time! Door! Knock on my door! Knock on my door! Knock on my door! Knock on my door!
The face is not working right here. Yeah, that's better. So her teeth's constantly showing.
Knock on my door! Knock next time! Next time!
Oops. Maybe she won't head her neck. That's why. Did that last time too.
Next time! Next time! Next time! Next time! Next time!
Okay, so that's... So I'm trying to do the lead-ins where I have the neck. Yeah, there it is. Like the neck and the head. Do I have had a stuff? Yes. Just a little bit. Have it so they keep going. But I think I might just do head in just a little bit. Michael, you're just flirting your house. That's great.
Knock on my door! Knock next time! Next time! Next time! Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir! Knock next time! Door! Knock next time! Door! Knock next time!
I might actually just animate the eyes coming back this time because it'll at least put more of a panic look in. I probably won't actually make them. I'll just have them blink-ish. I want to use the emphasis on the other word. Okay, so the head goes to go down, so the pupils are going to go up a little bit. And then here, the pupils will go down a little bit. But then I have to have the eyes actually reflect that that happened.
Knock next time. Knock next time. Knock next time. Yes. Open my door. Knock next time. Yes. Knock on my. You need it on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time. Next time. The door. Knock next time. Next time. Yes. Knock next time. Yes, sir. Knock next time. Next time. Knock on my.
Always save that for.
The bridge, sir. Knock on my. Knock on my. Knock on my door. Knock on my door. Knock next. Knock on my door. Knock on my door. Knock next time. Helmet, what? Hard helmet, what? You need it on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time. Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls. Good. 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 Good.
It's like my favorite part.
Good.
Okay, actually, I like that face right. I actually want us to stay like that all the way through.
Good. Good. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good. Knock on my door! Hard helmet, what? You need it on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. Yeah. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No.
Okay, well, I was animating so I could kind of figure out that, or to answer a question. I hope that answered the question. I didn't even know if, I kind of did. But I do want to still figure out what this area is going to look like. How would you limit the amount of work of something like to prevent from putting too much detail and just skip that you don't need to? Usually I just can, I'll look at things as, the things that are needed. Like, in my head, there's certain details that are your bare minimum, and then there's, like, varying levels of added on the detail. So for, like, here, like, a lot of stuff I'm doing right now would be, I'd consider to be usually the minimum for what I try to do. But what I'm not going to do is go through and clean up the hair, clean up the tails, clean up the ears, ensuring that physics is properly accounted for. Like adding wind effects or stuff like that. That's a lot of post effects stuff that takes way more work, and I'm not going to do. And that sometimes takes just as long as some of the other stuff. Like eyebrows, I might do like very minor bits for her because I think the surprised look might work well for her. So we should try that. But other than that, I don't tend to. I know about where I could quit it. I could always put more into it. But you could do that with anything for an infinite period of time. You'll never find a point where you'll say that looks good, I'm done. There's always going to be something else to look for, or something else to improve.
Hard helmet! bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time.
Actually, you know what? I'm probably just gonna leave the eyebrows as they are for now because it kind of looks crappy without, or having surprise without anything else. Ooh, and let's not do it apparently.
You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time.
Okay, so what scene do we want to put her in? If it's gonna be a standard house, door. You just need to find a door. I prefer ones like this. And actually, there's one like barn door that works really well. Those are nice, but I don't think they have bones on them. But if you feel like you're doing too much, well, I guess I would say it depends on what you're doing. If you're making something to be stupid, it looks like a booby. If you're making something to be stupid, then you might have to worry about going too much. But if you're trying to be serious to make it the best it can be, just let it go. And figuring out where things are good enough to stop is just, you either have to learn it or just cut yourself off at some point. I'm doing an office door. Oh, but I think the best office door is on Stanley Parable, and I think I have that disabled. How about a porta-pooey? What is this? Let's go. See, a lot of the doors, a lot of the most common are like slide doors, but I need one that slams open. Ooh. See, this one I like because it's thick, has an actual 3D door handle, unlike some other ones, and it's fairly clean. Other doors are taller, like this, and that's not what I want. I want something that's nice and thick. Extra thick. That might be what this one is. That's DoD Door 1. I think you should at least check your attic and make sure there's not corpses up there. That one could work too. It's good detail to it. Those bump maps. Yeah. Handle, it's a little taller than I want, but I guess depending on the camera angle it wouldn't even matter. Yeah, Giz's upstairs is 2/3 of his house. I like this one. We'll go with this one. I think I'm gonna have to make an angled wall on this if I want to maintain this angle. That door looks huge then. I probably don't need it to be that big. Well, there's ghosts up there. Maybe you can make some friends. You can hang out and play Yahtzee or something. Okay, that's a good size. Okay, that's when I want to have her in the door, so she'll come in through it like this. So this would be a good spot for it. There's actually another map I could use. Just thought about it. Nah. I kind of want to see. It might. You'd be able to use exactly the setup, but I might be able to at least figure out the backgrounds easier. What did I title it? It's for the when I do the promo. Because I can't remember the name of the map. I made a folder for it. Oh, probably under beauty or promos. There we go. That one. Yeah, see, this one has doors and everything. This is like a giant house. Look how pretty that house is. Wouldn't you want a house that looks like that? So pretty. But it's got a lot of cool things in it. It's got this weird striped room. It's got these bathrooms, I think. If that's a bathroom, it's probably not good to have a mirror. Oh, it's a false mirror. But make a bathroom to the side, it makes it look like a mirror. I get it. Okay. Creepy though. Anyways. I chose this room because it was fairly simple.
Does the hiatus have you down?
Yeah.
Well, good news.
Season 7?
No. Horse conventions.
But I can utilize the same map. That's the thing I needed to figure out. So, SFM Manor Rooms. I didn't make that map. Somebody else. I downloaded it off the workshop, I think. Don't want white. That might be a bit much. I'll go with wood.
You need it on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time. Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No.
Just feel like that's gonna be too far away, but if I'm any closer, the door is huge. I guess the door isn't gonna be like knocked in. that animation, the one with the tan horse, that was for a promo I made for Winnie City. I don't even know if it's public anymore. I can't remember. Winnie City and Babscon actually. I just needed to make something, so I made it in like 3 days. I like the idea of her, like, just being there.
Hard helmet, black! You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. Hard helmet, black! You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good! I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good! Hard helmet, black! You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good! Hard helmet, black! You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good!
That's too much.
Hard helmet, black! Hard helmet, black! You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock! Hard helmet, black! You're needed on the bridge, sir.
Oop, I can't do it from there.
Helmet, black! You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good! Yes.
Okay, I messed that up. I'll try it again.
Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good! Dolls again. Good! Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good! Did you see anything?
There we go.
You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good! Good!
There we go.
Good! And with your dolls again. Good! 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 With your dolls again. Good!
It was like so that weird. Love it. Oh, I knew it was gonna happen. Probably lost the audio. Michael, you can't call man points for killing a spider when you're too afraid to go in your own attic.
You're needed on the bridge, sir. door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again.
We didn't save any of that. I love the autosave, right? Yeah, that was why.
Lord Helmet, what?
There we go.
You needed it.
Okay, yep, so this is the right one. As soon as you open it autosave, it deletes it, so if I'm not sure, I'll save it as a separate one, then open the other one. So not losing work.
You need it on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good!
Yeah, you could. You could hang out with all your friends. Yeah.
Lord Helmet, what? 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 Helmet, what? 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 Lord Helmet, what? You need it on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door! Knock next time! Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good! Good! Good!
It's the overface. You could build a... No, actually, like, you cleaned it up perfectly so that it's spotless. And then you just leave one plush just sitting on its own in the middle of the floor, and you leave it there even if you sell it. Like, and if anybody asks what's in the attic, just say I can't. It's Her Majesty's, and I can't show you, and never let them see it.
Lord Helmet, what? You need it on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time. Yes, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time. Yes.
I feel with the mouth it might be too smooth.
Knock next time. Yes.
I think I might need to like slide things to the more towards certain elements so that they jerks a little bit more between, and she's like phasing through.
Yes, sir. Lord Helmet, what? You need it on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door.
Okay. What should I put behind them? You know what? I don't even give a shit. We're just gonna put some shit back there. So this is gonna be door. And now we're gonna go look for computer. I kind of know what I want, but I need to wait for it. Oh, that's pretty quick. I want something from the mega pack. Go down. It even says it's for the bridge. Perfect. Actually, you know what? A little closer. Okay, come on. Get through those. How many of those are there? There we go. Oh. That's pretty detailed. It's melty. I know what I'm looking for. Let's just find it. I just want to have it like go from a wood to a techie back there or something for some reason. Okay, I want trees. The hell? I think it's from XCOM. There's some other techie floor type things. There we go. Come on. Might be a little too bright, but I can always dumb it down. Oh. That'll work. For the floor, but oh well. Ooh, going through that. I maxed out my RAM real quick. Right, at least want to figure out the one thing and then I'll probably be done. I know what I want. Can't remember what it's called. it's cute. What is it called? I know the picture. No, it wasn't a vault suit. It was probably the Fallout 4 power armor. Exactly what it looks like. I know what happened. It's just figuring out his damn name. People are pretty bad at naming things. No. Pretty sure it's Texas. No, there it was. Enclave, that's what I'm looking for. I know I have it. What do you name it? Commander, that's it. There we go.
Did you see anything? No, sir. Lord, help me.
I can fix some of the issues later.
What? You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time. Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No.
I don't know if it's going to work with her hair. I don't think I can disable it through here. No. I could always just get rid of the hat, though. Yeah, without her hair, she just looks like... She kind of looks like Pinky.
Oh, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good. Oh, Lord, help me. What?
20 vault suit, that was not 20. Oh! I have like 4 different vault, like, it was probably the Overmare one. Yeah, this one. Because that one's security for and I tend to use it for blackjack if I ever use blackjack, but there's also there's the helmet for it, and then there's also the actual armor too, which is really badass from the Overmares. I don't think I've used the full body one yet. I've used the partial front half.
Lord, help me. What? You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Door. On my door. Knock next time. Yes, sir. Did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dolls again. Good.
Well, Starlight is done, so we don't have to worry about her anymore. Anyways, it's past 9, so I'm gonna be good. Yeah, that's that is a free download. I believe you was it Naka that uploaded it or Bearded Doom Guy? Because I know Bearded ported it, but I can't remember if Naka was the one that uploaded it. But it was one of those two. I think they might have both had it up in some way or another. But anyways, actually, it probably. I swear it wasn't that long before this point, because it shows all three of them on dummies. Yeah, it was before this because I had used. Actually, it wasn't too long before that. Yeah, here we go. Right here. Yes, it was Pony Naka. So here you go. And they're free to download. I almost feel this picture doesn't really do it justice, though, because I mean the butt maps on them are pretty well made and everything, and there are a lot of detail to them, so it's pretty nice looking with good lighting. I know he also did. I thought Naka put some other ones up, but I know like there's other ones like the lab coat one. Donut did. So I mean, there's a lot of different ones for Fallout that if you really look around for, they're out there. Anyways, so yep, I'm good. So I will be back streaming on Friday, and probably finish up more of that same part. So, so yeah. Can't think of anything else. So, bring questions. I like questions. There's questions today, and questions are good. So, anyways, in the meantime, you can have a kitty. Or not. Oh no, you can have a kitty. And then, yeah, okay. Alright. Bye-bye. I guess bye-bye. This bye-bye. Bye-bye. Qatar. Oh, I thought it was like a center for Zoom, but I guess not. Alright, bye.